Yo, what up? Welcome back, Chosen fam. I have to excuse my window broke today a little bit. Not like the won't move up and down. The stupid electronics that we have to depend on. I can't roll it up like I should be able to. So there's a little bit of wind in the background. But anyway, before we get into the video, subscribe to the channel, give the video a like for more Christian content like this. Guys, chosen ones, my precious family members, we live in a world completely controlled by freaking psychopaths. Okay, let's do some simple math right now. Jeff Bezos, and this isn't an attack on Jeff Bezos because I'm a capitalist. I fully believe in being able to build a product or make a product and sell it to the population, especially if it's a product that helps you. Amazon, you could argue that it helps people, argue that it doesn't and makes people lazy. But anyway, this isn't an attack on Jeff Bezos, but he's worth roughly $179.2 billion. That's his net worth. Guess what the world population is? Roughly 7.7 billion. That's all the people in the entire world. And yet, poverty is still an issue. And yet, hunger is still an issue. We have people living nowadays without basic necessities, like basic food, water, shelter, most basic ingredients to holding on to your life here on earth. And you have some of these people that are so insanely rich. Like if you use Jeff Bezos as an example, this means that he could literally give everybody like $1 billion and it would barely dent his wealth. Like, just imagine if you had that type of power. And this isn't me being envious or anything, because I live a relatively comfortable life. I mean, I put myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations, but that's by choice for growth. But if I had $179 billion and I saw this world hunger and all this stuff going on, I mean, at that point, it's like, what else is going to enrich you other than, some good old-fashioned philanthropy? If you look at what his wife did, and how much his wife actually gave away, or his ex-wife, I should say, she ended a lot of suffering with what she got from that divorce. And that to me is mind-blowing, because what she got from him was just a fraction of his net worth. I mean, it seems like a lot of money to us, but to him, it barely dented him. And he was able to walk away from that marriage still smiling for the camera, And I can kind of understand why a lot of people call this guy the devil and say he's so horrible. Because, I mean, I get it. Like, if you start a business, you're like, hey, they didn't help me start that business. A lot of us chosen ones are going through the same thing. We start seeing others Decepticons or devils. The devils are Decepticons, same difference. We start seeing these people as these devils because they didn't help us when we needed it. And, a lot of people, a lot of self-made millionaires and billionaires, they feel the exact same way, I'm sure. They're like, why would I help people that wouldn't even turn around to help me? But at the same time, I don't know, maybe I just have a different heart, because I just don't see a way, rhyme, or reason that I could possibly have that much and feel comfortable just keeping it. And I would have to give it away. I would have to. Like, I would have to feed starving animals, starving people. And I don't even like people. That's what's crazy. It's like he runs a multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate. So he's got more than enough ability to help people worldwide. Because, I don't know, maybe I'm just that kind of person where if I had that type of wealth, I mean, I could only enjoy it so far. Like, I mean, finally be able to, like, jump out of a plane and stuff like that. Stuff I've always wanted to do. I'd be able to do stuff like that, which would be great. But after a certain point, it's just like, when is enough enough? You know? Because I see people that have a lot and they're freaking miserable. And then I see people that have nothing and they're happy. Or at least from my perspective, it might be like nothing. Because, you know, I didn't have all that horrible of an upbringing or anything. I had good parents that helped raise me and take care of me. You know, they weren't abusive or anything. My parents were always drinkers. They've always said some dumb shit, but they've always, you know, been there. You know, they haven't ditched me off to the side. So I know that there's definitely people that have had like a rougher upbringing, and so it might make them a little bit more selfish than I am when they finally do make it. But it's like, I remember when my eBay thing first started taking off and I first started making some extra money. Even that like made me feel kind of sick to my stomach, almost guilty. Like, I almost want to say I felt guilty for a while because of it. I felt literally guilt for receiving, you know, the fruit that from the plant I made. I created a business from the ground up, starting with nothing but $1, no debt or anything. I just created this eBay business from nothing, literally. Like, I started with $1 and I just kept flipping that dollar. And I remember it got to the point, I'm still very proud of, you know, what I did. And, you know, where it's taken me, and, you know, how I've learned to profit off of items. And, you know, like, I can pick out a diamond in the rough really easily now. It's almost like a weird ability I have where I'm able to just go into like any store that's closing down, or a garage sale, or hell, even a Goodwill sometimes, or like a thrift shop, and I could walk in there for 5 minutes and I'll grab the stuff that's worth it in that store, and like I'll already be on my way. I've really gained that kind of crazy ability like that, like some Midas touch ability. But it's not to a $179.2 billion degree. That's certainly not where it was. But even when I was just making an extra few $100s a month, I was already like being generous with it. And, you know, not all hearts are created the same. I still wanted to, you know, give the people around me, my friends and family, a better experience. I still wanted them to have fun. Like, that money was kind of blown just on having my kids have the experience of having a good childhood, just because I want to share that with them. I don't want them to have a shitty, miserable existence. Like, unfortunately, I kind of did as a kid. Like, I got picked on a lot as a kid. My parents were great, but, you know, I remember there were some parts of, you know, my childhood that were a little tough because, you know, there were kids that just wanted to make my life a living hell. Wanted nothing other than that. And so you see, like, I kind of came off topic, but I want to come back on topic. And I'm just comparing myself to these multi-billion-dollar international conglomerate owners. And let me know what you think down in the comments, because it seems to me like our world is run by these malicious psychopaths that just, they have zero care in the world for their fellow man. Like, if I had that much, I would solve world hunger, like, immediately. Like, he could literally solve world hunger with just his net worth alone, and he'd still have a really big house. It's like, when is enough enough, guys? Let me know down in the comments. God bless you. Peace be with you. Thanks for coming back, guys.